Sister mocked and humiliated my son and is now furious I rejected her wedding invitation. Am I the for refusing to go to my sister's wedding after she publicly humiliated my son? A few months ago, my sister, let's call her Jane, got engaged and started planning our wedding. Jane is 37 years old. Growing up, we were always close, sharing secrets and supporting each other through life's ups and downs. However, Jane has always had a tendency to be backhanded and passive-aggressive. She would make snide remarks under the guise of concern and often find subtle ways to belittle me or others. Despite this, I, 34 female, always tried to maintain a good relationship with her, believing that deep down she cared for me. This all came to a head during a recent family gathering at Jane's house. My son, Liam, who is 7 years old, has a bladder issue that sometimes causes him to have accidents. We've been working with doctors and trying our best to manage it, but it's a sensitive topic for him. During the gathering, Liam had an accident. He was embarrassed, and I was in the process of helping him clean up when Jane noticed. Instead of being understanding or discreet, Jane loudly pointed it out in front of everyone. She said things like, "How disgusting," and "At this age, this is unacceptable." She even went as far as to say that Liam should be ashamed of himself and criticized me for not getting him under control. Her comments made Liam burst into tears, and I quickly took him home to comfort him. As I was gathering our things to leave, Jane came over still clearly upset. She asked me why I was leaving. I looked at her trying to keep my voice calm for Liam's sake. "Jane, I think it's best if we go home. Liam is very upset right now." Jane rolled her eyes at me. "Oh, come on. It's just an accident. He needs to learn how to handle these things better. You can't just cuddle him forever." My patience was wearing thin, but I tried to explain again. "Jane, Liam has a medical condition. We're working with doctors and it's a sensitive issue for him. Your comments right now were really hurtful." I was just telling the truth. He needs to toughen up. You're not doing him any favors by babying him. At this point, I was furious but didn't want to escalate the situation in front of Liam. I took a deep breath and said, "We'll talk about this later, Jane. Right now, I need to take care of my son." Without waiting for a response, I gathered Liam and headed to the car. On the drive home, I couldn't shake the image of Jane's face and her harsh words. This wasn't the first time she had made Liam feel bad about his condition. Each time, I had hoped she would understand and showed some empathy, but it seemed like she was only getting worse. The next day, I called Jane to talk about what happened. This conversation is from what I can remember. I wanted to explain again away from the heat of the moment and hope she would see reason. "Jane, about yesterday, I need you to understand how much your words hurt Liam. He's already struggling and your comments made him feel even worse." Instead of apologizing, Jane was very dismissive. "I'm not going to apologize for telling the truth. You need to stop coddling him, and he needs to learn to deal with the real world." Her response was like a punch to the gut. I had hoped for some empathy, some understanding, but it was clear she wasn't going to give it. "Jane, I don't think you understand how serious this is. He has a medical condition. It's not something he can just toughen up from." She told me, "Look, I have a wedding to plan. I don't have time for this trauma." When Jane's wedding invitations went out, I received one, but I felt conflicted. On one hand, she's my sister and it's a significant event in her life. On the other hand, I couldn't forget how she humiliated my son and her refusal to apologize. After much thought, I decided to decline the invitation. I didn't feel comfortable celebrating with someone who had been so cruel to my child. When Jane found out, she was livid. She accused me of trying to ruin her special day and called me petty and overdramatic. Some family members sided with her, saying, I should let it go for the sake of family harmony, while others understood my decision and supported me. This wasn't the first time Jane had done something like this. She has a history of making hurtful comments about Liam's condition and generally lacks sensitivity when it comes to his medical issues. Each time, I've tried to address it calmly, hoping she would eventually understand and be more considerate. Unfortunately, she never changes and her behavior continues to hurt my son. Jane has been blowing up my phone, including other family members. Now I'm left questioning if I'm the a-hole for refusing to go to my sister's wedding. I don't want to cause family drama, but I also feel strongly about standing up for my son. This wedding is just the latest incident in a long line of hurtful behavior from Jane, and I'm not sure how much more I can take. So am I the for refusing to go to my sister's wedding after she publicly humiliated my son? No, Opie, I don't think you're the. You pretty much said it. You don't feel like celebrating someone who humiliated your son, who refuses to understand that it's not just because he wants to do it. It's a medical condition. You guys are working on it and it takes time, and her comments don't help. So, no, not the a-hole. Also her comments about, like, I'm just telling the truth. Well, you know what? It would be appreciated if somebody asked for your opinion. I think Jane needs to understand the difference between outer voice and inner voice, unless she's some self-important idiot who doesn't understand that not everybody cares about what they have to say. Regardless, OP. No. Not the a-hole. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's check out the community comments. Sheila38 says, not the a-hole, but you're the a-hole if you let her back in. How many times does she have to bully your son for you to get that she's a mean girl who gets off on hurting your 7-year-old son when he cuts you out of his life because mom never had my back, because mom cares more about her sister's feelings than her own son's? Sometimes doing the right thing is a lonely path. And to the people who are backing her up, ask them, if she bullies their child, would they be okay with that? And responds, I agree. I feel ashamed for letting her get away with things. Alana Advice says, not the for the question, but you are also the for exposing your son to her in your own words. Jane has been hurtful towards Liam and your reaction incomprehensibly was to calmly dismiss it hoping she will improve? That is a huge failure as a parent. Jane wouldn't have felt emboldened to do what she did if you had shut her up the first time she did. You come across as so passive. I feel sorry for your son. And responds, I do. I feel extremely guilty for allowing her to get away with these things. I tried to be calm about it because family means a lot to me, but I realize how wrong I was. STL Hockey Girl says, you need to do more as a parent. We're no longer attending gatherings with Jane owing to the negative impact she has on my son. And LA Grad says, not the but for the love of God, stop taking your child around this woman. You are facilitating the harm being done. Alright. Well, the community said, not the for not going to the wedding. You're the for exposing your son to this woman. Now we've got 2 updates, one that was right after the original post and one that's 6 months after the original post-wedding. So let's move on with the first one to see what happened next. Hi, all. It has been a few hours since I made my first post. I wanted to say thank you for all the love going to my son, Liam. It truly means the world. I wanted to address some things. 1. The reason I bring Liam to these gatherings is because he loves his cousins. He enjoys spending time with family. And 2. Liam doesn't like wearing pull-ups or diapers of any form. This is why I haven't necessarily been using them. Now to further update, I've talked to Liam about what happened. I told him that it wasn't his fault at all and that Aunt Jane was being very rude and inconsiderate. I told him that he's an amazing boy and to never let anybody say otherwise. My son was very happy to hear this. He told me that what Jane had said to him hurt his feelings a lot and I completely understood. I asked him if he wanted to continue to go to these family events. He said no. I fully supported his decision. My son comes first and the comments have helped me realize that I've let Jane walk all over me with the fear of causing a tear in the family. Now I am going little to no contact with Jane. I'll send her the occasional holiday message, but that's it. I cannot be around someone who hurts my son. I felt as if I had failed as a mom, and the comments have truly opened my eyes. So, thank you all. As for the people in my family who support my sister, I have blocked them all. I refuse to allow people who agree with her mentality to be involved in my son's life. I love my son with all my heart and I would do everything for that little guy. I think that I should have put a stop to it sooner and I regret not doing that. However, I know that I can be a better mom and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I messaged the family that was contacting me in a mass group chat and I told them that we would no longer be coming to any family events. If they wanted to see my son, they would have to come individually or the event would have to be hosted by me. I also told them that my sister's behavior needs to be fixed because that was the reason our family is being torn apart, not because I'm not going to her wedding, but because she decided to make fun of my child. My mother is on my side and fully supports my decision. My father is still stuck in the middle, and for that, I think I should go low contact with him too. I'm going to keep in touch with you all and keep the updates coming whenever I can. All I know is that even if she gives my son the apology he deserves, I want nothing to do with her. I don't want her around my son. Okay, it seems the community got through to OP and she has taken action. So now let's move forward 6 months in the future to get to the final update. Hi, everyone. It's been a couple of months since I've made my update post, so I figured I should update once more if anyone is still interested. My sister Jane got married on December 4th and it has been such a roller coaster. I did not go to the wedding nor did I go to any after party or gathering they had. I'm not at all interested in any of their plans. From what I heard, red wine was spilled on her dress which in turn ruined the photos. Karma's a bitch, not just karma. Anyways, I ended up taking Liam to the mall and just spent the entire day with him. I bought him some Lego sets, clothes, and basically everything he wanted. My boy deserves to be spoiled. Before anyone asks, yes, he still has his bladder issues. However, yes, we managed to get him used to wearing pull-ups and other things to manage his accidents. A lot of people sent me messages regarding certain things to use and, honestly, it really helped a lot. I checked a few of them before I logged out of this account. It wasn't easy getting him used to the change, but Liam understood that it was for the best and learned to use them. He hasn't really complained about anything so far. Now, the big question is, what's going on with my sister? Like I said, she got married and blah blah blah. According to her maid of honor, she was a real bridezilla. So glad I wasn't there. I feel bad for her fiancé. Really nice guy. I am still no contact with her or anyone in my family that supported her. My mother has been my rock. It hasn't been that hard to adjust actually. My father has been cut off as well. My father and I never got along, so it isn't a loss for me. I fully believe that he is the reason my sister acts the way she does. My sister has tried to reach out to me a couple of times. Most of them were just her berating me for not going to the wedding, and the others were half-assed apologies. I could honestly care less about what she says. I read Liam some of the comments, and guys, you made him the happiest little boy on earth. His birthday was actually 4 days ago, January 22nd. He is now 8 years old. Happy birthday, Liam. We had a nice Lego-themed party for him. He loves Legos. My mom and a few cousins were invited along with school friends. He had an accident during the party, but finally, no one was there to berate him for something he can't control. I'm also saying thank you for anything. If anything in the future happens, I'll be sure to update you guys, but for now, this seems to be it. Love you all and thank you for the support. Well, it sounds like a great update. So here's wishing you and Liam the best in the future. Take care and thanks for sharing. And now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit True Off My Chest, and it's by user @ambitious2537. I bought my sister's wedding dress. My sister got married 4 years ago. She had her beautiful wedding dress made by a tailor she loved. Some months ago, she told us she'd put it on a second-hand website to sell it because she and her husband could use the money. I knew it obviously had a huge sentimental value. She was even planning on having it shortened so that she could wear it again for their anniversary. She was selling it reluctantly. I could see tears in her eyes when she told us. What she doesn't know is that I created an account on the website and bought it anonymously. I had a bonus last month and I couldn't see a better way to spend my money. I plan on taking it to the tailor who made the dress, order the changes she wanted. Thankfully, we're the same size and I want to gift it back to her for their anniversary in a few months. I love my sister. I hope it makes her happy. Wow. OP, this is such a lovely thing for you to do. For someone that you clearly love. You are a great example of a great sister. Not like some other sister I know about, like from the previous story. Yeah, Jane. I'm talking about you. You suck. Anyways, not much more to comment, and there's no point in reading the community comments because there's no judgment here. However, I do have an edit from the OP. Edit to add. Some people are suggesting I don't make any changes to the dress. Thank you for your concern. However, my sister was in the process of having it shortened with her tailor anyway, but my brother-in-law had to stop working for a few months due to his health and money started getting a bit tight. That's why she had to sell it. She could no longer keep it and absolutely not pay for the changes. I've arranged with her tailor to resume the project as per my sister's wishes before she had to sell the dress. Also, with the fabric that is being cut off, I was planning on crafting a bag or another accessory to go with it. I haven't decided yet. And now let's move on to the update. First of all, I wanted to thank everyone who commented. Your kind words really warmed my heart. Many of you asked for an update, so here it is. English is not my first language, so bear with me. A few weeks ago, we celebrated my sister and brother-in-law's 4-year anniversary, but also the birthday of my nephew who is now 1 year old. So the tailor did a wonderful job with my sister's wedding dress. Once the finishing touches were added, I put it in a beautiful box with a ribbon. The day before the celebration, I gifted it to her as an early anniversary present. She was surprised that I wouldn't wait for the next day. When she opened it, oh my God guys, I can't describe the face that she made. She recognized it instantly since we had shortened it but left it otherwise unchanged. She had tears in her eyes as she unwrapped the paper. When she fully took it out of the box, she gasped when she realized it was shorter, told me it was her dream to have it shortened. I said it was all thanks to her tailor. I explained to her that I had bought the dress with an account that had one of my friends' name and had it sent to their place so she wouldn't suspect a thing. I could tell she felt torn between wanting to say it was too much of a present and just being grateful she got to keep her wedding dress. She hugged me and we cried a bit together. She really loved the changes and the dress fits her like a glove. I'll put a picture of her in her dress in the comments. Smiley face. Some context on the picture. Where I live, there's a tradition. At your wedding, your guests put things in a box, bottles of wine, photos, memories, and the bride and groom bury the box in their garden. The box is excavated when their first child is born. So that's what they did. That's what they are doing in the picture. I thought it was fun to include. P.S. As someone suggested, I kept some of the fabric from my sister's dress to make a christening blanket for my nephew. We kept the rest and I'll craft my sister an accessory of her choosing. She hasn't decided yet. So that's it, folks. Thank you again for your kindness. I wish you all the best. And here is the picture of the sister and her husband digging up the box. In the meantime, OP, thank you so much for sharing this lovely story. You are a great sibling. Take care, OP. And now, let's finish this video with a quick mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance and it's by user, Agony. You want me to work my exact hours? Okay, no problem. A few years ago, my manager decided to crack down on workplace discipline. His first rule: everyone had to work their exact schedule hours, no more, no less. If your shift was 9 to 5, you couldn't start a minute earlier or leave a minute late. Now I'm a person who likes to finish what I'm working on even if it means staying a little past my shift, but fine, rules are rules. At 5 sharp, I started dropping everything. Middle of a call with a client: sorry, it's 5. Let's pick this up tomorrow. Writing an email, draft saved, computer shut down. My coworkers follow suit soon. Soon, the office was a ghost town at exactly 501 every day. It didn't take long for chaos to erupt. Deadlines got missed, calls were dropped, and clients weren't happy. Management started to notice. After about 2 weeks, the rule magically disappeared and we were told, just do what you need to get the job done. Funny how quickly things change when you follow orders too perfectly. Ops edit update. A lot of people asked if this was about working long hours. It wasn't. The issue was flexibility. Many of us liked starting early or staying late when it suited us, but the policy forced us into rigid schedules, which didn't work.